Alright, Kennis Russell here doing a review of the new Roland GR-55 Guitar Synthesizer. What is the Roland GR-55? It basically is three things in one. It's a guitar synthesizer, which is going to give you like your keyboard type style sounds. It's an effects processor, and it also is a custom modeling processor, which you can choose. Basically, I want a certain type of guitar with a certain type of amp, and it'll actually make it sound just like that. So a couple of things that it's got over 900 sounds built into it, derived from the Roland SD50 sounds. This is Roland's like newest, best keyboard style sounds. So you can choose two of those at the same time, as well as it having the ability to do custom modeling amps. So you can literally say, I want a classic Fender Stratocaster played through a Vox AC30 style amp. Or you can say, I want a Les Paul with P90 pickups played through a matchless clean amp. Pretty amazing that the technology you can do. And I'm actually kind of a gear guy, and I like having pedals and like having different things. And this does a very, very good job of making a realistic sound of what that actually would sound like. Some of the effects, basically any of the basic effects that you'd want. Delay, reverb, it's got EQ built in, distortion, tremolo, rotary effects, flanger. It's got all those built into it. And then also, so you basically can layer all those together. So you have two keyboard sounds. You can choose your what kind of guitar and what kind of amp you want. And then you can add the effects to that. And then also you can play your natural guitar's tone through the effects as well, going out, and even through the amp modeling going out. All right, I'm going to get a little bit into that in a minute, but I want to just kind of show you some of the basic functions. Rather than them writing a bunch of buttons that said keyboard, organ, drums, for all the different sounds, what they did was they kind of put them more in your functionality of how you're actually going to use this. So it's got lead, rhythm, other, and then user, where you create your own sounds. So lead is going to be more of like, you know, like it sounds like if you're playing lead guitar. I don't have anything worked out or anything. This is what I'm just on the Bank 101. This is the sound. So that gives you an idea. Rhythm is going to be more of what you're you know, if you're strumming something, if you're playing rhythm. This is a 12-string acoustic guitar with a church organ, and then your other is going to be, it's just other. It's kind of a mix of different things. I assume if Roland can't come up with a different name other than other, I probably am not going to be able to either. This is called Ultimate Pulse, so if you can kind of get an idea of. Sometimes some of the patches take a little bit of time to kind of figure out how to use them, but it gives you just an idea of some of the sounds with that. Now, within each one of these, you actually have three different, each patch, so like lead 01, and it's got lead 02, and then lead 03, or lead 3. So you've got like different sounds built in with them. So you have a bank with three patches in each bank, and then there's tons of banks. Moving on to one thing, say you find a sound that you really like. You know, say you really like this. You say, man, I wish that was a little bit brighter though. You can go into this easy edit deal and pull that over. And or if you wanted it to be real dry, you know, you could do bright and dry. This would be real bright. Some of the things too, you can edit this thing for forever. There's so many different little things you can do to it. I'll probably be making another video that's a little bit more in depth. This is just an overall review of it. You can edit what you want it to sound like. If you go in there, you can wipe it clean and then start from ground zero. But these are just a couple patches that I've come up with. I'm going to go into this edit so you can see what I've done. I've got two PCM sounds, two keyboard sounds. I'm not playing any electric guitar. Then I've got my normal pickup through it, and I'm playing through a Godin XDSA, and it's got a acoustic style pickup built into it. So on this patch here, which I have, I'm a worship leader, and I've labeled this one as ambient worship. I can play my acoustic guitar from the guitar, my natural sound, and then you have that kind of happening in the background. This is without the guitar at all. This is just the processor here working. I have another one here that just kind of shows you some of the functions on. I have this similarly done when I go into edit. I've got two keyboard sounds, or that's what I'm going to call them, two keyboard sounds, kind of pads. An electric guitar, which I believe I have a Les Paul going through a basement amp, and then my normal pickup as well. And then I've got this set where the volume pedal will adjust only the electric guitar. I want to kick on the electric. So it gives you a lot of on the fly type things happening. Or you can make it, you can set it up where the functionality of these, a lot of this control right here can do a bunch of different things. You can tell it to be a tap tempo. You can tell it to turn on or off one of, like an on and off switch of one of the sounds. It's got a volume pedal, and then also if you push down on this red light comes on and it turns into an expression pedal of sorts, where you can just do different things. You could say I want, volume of two different instruments. Let's see, what else would be another kind of interesting thing that you can do with this is you can send your guitar signal through this. Let me just explain how this system works. In order for this to work, you have to have a Roland GK3 style pickup for your guitar. This is the Roland GK3 pickup, and what this does is right here. It's got 6 different humbuckers that read the sounds of your guitar and translate them kind of like a digital sound into the processor. So this actually goes underneath, this will go underneath your strings right by the bridge, and each of these individual individual humbuckers here send a different signal for each of the strings. That's how it's able to do such cool sounds and not sound like a guitar. On this too, it has like down and up, and you can also assign these. You can assign each of these buttons to do something as well. Then here on the left side, it's got a guitar mix GK, which is just if you want just your guitar signal going through, a mix of both, or just the Roland GR-55 sounds going through. You can do that. You plug your normal guitar in through here, so then this actually will send both your normal guitar and the synth sounds through it. So what you can, and the digital sound through it. So what you actually can come up with is, if you have a rig that you've worked really hard making, you've spent your money on your amps and your pedals and different things like that, you can still play through those with this. You can actually literally send, it's got 3 different outputs. You can literally send, send your stereo out, which have your keyboards and different sounds like that on it, or you can do your, just the guitar out, or you could have just your plain guitar out going into your amp and that kind of thing. Or you can run it through the effects before it sends it out. Or if you want to, you could say, I want my guitar played through a matchless clean amp, and it's going to make it sound like that. It's pretty amazing. So like for me, for instance, if I wanted to, I'm a praise and worship leader, if I wanted to do the keyboard and acoustic sounds of my guitar going out into the system, into the house, I could do that, and then I could also go out into an amplifier for my electric guitar sound before it goes to the house. So there's a lot of functionality in that. All of these different controls, you can tell what to do. It also has this little door pops open on the side, and this is actually a USB drive slot. You can stick just a flash drive in there, and if you have WAV files on there, you can trigger them through this. You could assign this to, when I hit this on this patch, I want it to click on this track, and you could have drums, you could have a whole orchestra if you wanted playing on it and playing along with it. So, it gives a little bit, if you're playing in a coffee shop or something like that where you wanted some accompaniment, or on stage, if you had background, tracks built in, you might have a full band, but you've got other layers of stuff happening that you've already laid out in the studio, you can trigger this here to play along with. pretty neat stuff. It also has a looper function. You hit these two together, this little thing pops up, and it's a looper. It's got 20 seconds of loopability. It's not a whole lot, but again, that's not the purpose of this. Not the purpose of this pedal. It's just kind of a feature. But you can layer on top of it as many as you want, and you could layer 100 different sounds. One of the really neat things that I like about this is the tuner, and let me tell you why. Normally on a tuner, you play the string and then you see if it's in tune or out of tune. Because the GK3 pickup has a built-in, because it has each one of these has a humbucker built into it, and it's sending a different signal for each one of the strings. As you strum all 6 strings, it literally is telling you which strings are in tune, which strings are out of tune. So you can just tune these up very, very quickly as you go without, you can be in tune just in a snap. So that's the tuner. Overall, the construction is made out of metal mostly. It's got a few plastic parts, but I'm very confident this is going to be around for a long time, as Boss Roland products are. The jacks are very well built. I'm not anticipating them breaking. Sometimes you get some effects or some gear, and you're kind of really nervous that this is going to last. I believe this is made for gigging, and this is made for being out there on gigs. So I'm confident with that. Also, there's a lot of functions on here that I have not found, and I think that if you're thinking about buying this, or even if you already have it, your mindset has to be, when playing a guitar synth like this, and GR-55, is that you have to treat this as its own instrument. You can't just expect to be able to plug into it and just right off the bat know all the functions and know how to get out of it what you want. You really do have to dig in and read the manual and go through it and figure out the functionality of it so that you can use it for all it's worth. If you get it, I just plan to be able to spend a few hours just reading through the manual and find out where all the functions are, because I've been going through it for a little bit now. I've probably spent, I don't know, 5 or 6 hours just going through the manual and then messing around with it, and I think that I've probably touched about maybe a third, if that, maybe 25% of the functionality of this. You can go in and adjust so many different parameters of the sound that you want. It really truly is amazing. But the only downside that I have to this, and it's a small downside, but when you are switching from one sound to another, it does have a little bit of gap, and older keyboards used to do this. But if I have my sound going, it has that little bit of going to the next sound, so and so that's kind of an issue a little bit, because you have to really time out where you're going to switch sounds. But there is so much within each one of the patches that you can make. I think that I can get around that without too much trouble at all. The reason why I'm not using the GK3 pickup with this guitar is because this has one built into it. This is a Godin XTSA. Incredible guitar. I'll probably be doing a review on this as well, but it has the Roland pickup built into it. So this also has 6 individual humbuckers and all that. But that's why I don't have the GK3 put on this guitar right here. But also, if there are any sounds that you'd like to hear, you'd like to say, what are the acoustic guitar sounds like? What do some different pads sound like, or what do the organs sound like? Post a comment underneath there on YouTube, and just let me know what you're interested in, what you want to hear, and I'll go through those, make another video and go through those sounds for you. Also, if you like this video, if it's helpful to you, hit the like button, and feel free to post any comments. I'll read them all and respond to them all if you want me to. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.